2020. What in the world is going on around here? I mean, we got the COVID going on. People rioting in the streets just to go outside. And now on top of everything, y'all, we got killer hornets flying into the US. Bruh, I'm about to lose it. But you know what? I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, because guess what? Whenever I start feeling stuff like that, start thinking like, what is going on? Start stressing, start being fearful, I get into this word. I get into the word. So let's get straight to it. Quick word. Listen, this is where we're going today. It's a quick passage, a very short passage, but this same passage, this same story shows up in 3 of the 4 Gospels, okay? So I wanted to pay attention to it, and I wanted to use it, and I wanted to apply it, because that's what we do. And it's all about this storm that came up in Sunday school. You might know this story because there was a great song that went along with it. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna do it. I wanna read from Luke chapter 8, and then we're gonna break it down very quickly, because this story gets straight to the point. Luke chapter 8, starting in verse 22. Everybody with me? If you're with me, say you're with me. One day, Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross to the other side of the lake. So they got into the boat and started out. As they sailed across, Jesus settled down for a nap. Okay, so Jesus is like, look, y'all, we're gonna cross over to the other side of this lake. I'm gonna take a nap right quick. Okay? But soon a fierce storm came down on the lake. The boat was filling with water, and they were in real danger. Verse 24, the disciples went and woke him up shouting. Okay, when they woke him up, they woke up Jesus. So the disciples went and woke Jesus up shouting, Master, Master, we're going to drown. When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and the raging waves, and suddenly the storm stopped and all was calm. Then he asked them, where is your faith? Huh? You know who you riding with? Let me stop adding stuff. The disciples were terrified and amazed. And they said, who is this man? They asked each other, when he gives a command, even the wind and the waves obey him? What? What just happened here? You playing with him, Jesus? Stop it. Oh man, so quick recap. So Jesus tells his disciples, look, we're gonna get in this boat, we're gonna cross the other side of the lake. While they're on the lake, Jesus decides to take a nap. He settled down for a nap, he's just relaxing. But while he's napping, a storm sets upon the boat, and these disciples that are start tripping. It's a bad storm. The boat starts filling up with water. Storm is jacking the boat up. The disciples say, look, we are about to drown. And what does Jesus do? Jesus wakes up. Oh, boy. Y'all woke me up for this. Whew, hold on. What's this shit here? Rebukes the wind and the raging waves. Huh? Oh my goodness. When we talk about rebuke, it's basically like if you look up the word rebuke, it's talking about like a criticism or a disapproval. So basically Jesus is like, he tells the wind and the waves, listen y'all gotta cut this out. You know what? I'm gonna sign off on the paperwork, we're done here. Wind, waves, chill out. So Jesus himself wakes up from a nap, rebukes the winds and the waves, commands them to stop, and then he looks to the disciples and says, where is your faith? That really started shaking me out, man. There's a lot going on. There's too much going on, man. We all got some storms going on, whether it's just the Rona, whether it's some killer bees. A lot of you all have your own personal storms going on in your life that have nothing to do with quarantine. That have nothing to do with what the rest of the world going through. You got your own stuff you're dealing with. You got your own storms. The disciples are in the boat with somebody that they've seen do miraculous signs and wonders already. They've seen Jesus heal the blind, heal the lame. They've seen Jesus do all these things already. But when this new storm came up, when this new trial came up, when this new situation came about that was threatening to harm them or to drown them or kill them, it was so easy for them to forget who they were in the boat with. It was so easy for them to forget that, look, Jesus is in the boat with us. As a matter of fact, Jesus told us to get into this boat, and Jesus said that we're going to cross to the other side. It's easy to forget the things that God has already done for you, or things that, and situations God's already shown up in when you're going through a new situation. But let me tell y'all this. When we go through these storms of life, we go through these trials, tribulations in life, they have a purpose. These storms and trials are there for us to be able to use to zoom out and really get a glimpse, or really get a broader picture of who God is, who Jesus is. The disciples needed to see Jesus calm the winds and the waves to just be reminded of who he was and who he was in comparison to everything else. We have to realize, guys, that God is above everything. God is above every single storm you could go through. God is in control of every single trial, every single tribulation. In this situation, God was in control of the wind. God was in control of every ounce of water that was out there on that lake that day. God is above and beyond all of this stuff. When we get in situations where we're fearful, we're worried, we're anxious, we stressing out, I want you guys to hold on to this message and say, look, no matter what you're going through, God has the power to calm any storm. God has the power to resolve any problem. God has the power to redirect you out of any situation. God has the power to change any and every situation. God has the power to control any and every situation. And you want to know why? Because he's in control of any and every situation. No matter what it looks like on our level right now, God does not operate on the same wavelength as us. Whether we see it or not, God is in control of every situation. And isn't it good to know that not only is God in control of every situation, but he is on your side? He's on your side. Now, for some of us who are panicking and going through all these different emotions and not realizing that God is on our side, guess what? It's time to get into your word. Let's just be reminded of what God has already done for us. Let's be reminded of the situations 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that where he came through for us. And now that this new situation come up, we done forgot all about it. No. God, I will hold on to this word. I will remind myself that you got me. How do I know that you got me? Because you've had me from way back in the day. You had me last week. You had me when I was born. You had me 20 years ago. You had me 30 years ago. God, you've been calming storms. You've been leading. You've been guiding. You've been doing it. And I'm not going to forget it. Guys, don't be fearful. Let these storms that you're going through, let these trials that you're going through, let what the world's going through right now remind you of who God is and what he's done. Amen. See, not too long. Let's go. I will see you guys soon, but I'm pumped up today. Let's